Elias Wren's family treats him like garbage. His parents, Victor and Lena, only care about their precious Theo, the adopted son they call a miracle. UART's a waste, they sneer, while Theo gets all the praise. Elias is just the guy whose blood keeps Theo breathing. His fiancée, Clara, says she loves him, but her eyes scream he's nothing next to her brother. Then she hands him a $30 million check, daring him to prove he's a leech. Fed up with their insults, Elias says screw it and runs. Chapter 1. Elias Wren stood in the opulent foyer of the Vance family mansion, his charcoal-stained fingers clutching a glass of untouched wine. Eastmore's elite swirled around him, their laughter grating against the hum of a string quartet. At 25, Elias was an artist, his sketches a quiet rebellion against a life of being overlooked. Tonight, he was a stranger in this glittering world, his worn jacket a stark contrast to the tailored suits and silk gowns. Clara Vance, his fiancée, stood across the room, her emerald dress shimmering as she laughed with her brother, Theo. Clara's mother, Sylvia, the ruthless CEO of Vance Enterprises, approached Elias, her heels clicking like a countdown. In her manicured hand was a check for $30 million, the ink bold and accusing. "Take it, Elias," she said, her voice a blade wrapped in velvet. "Spend it on your little dreams, whatever they are. But I need to know, are you here for my daughter, or for our money?" Her eyes gleamed with suspicion, daring him to prove he was the opportunist she believed him to be. Elias's chest tightened, frustration simmering. He'd met Clara 2 years ago at an art gallery, her praise for his work a rare light in his shadowed life. Their engagement had felt like a lifeline, but her warmth always dimmed around Theo, the Vance family's golden son. This check wasn't just a test. It was a slap, a reminder that he'd never be enough. "I'll take it," he said, his voice low but steady, meeting Sylvia's gaze. "And I'll show you exactly who I am." Sylvia's lips curled, a sneer of triumph. "I can't wait to see you fail." Elias's hands trembled as he left the mansion, the check burning in his pocket. He drove through Eastmore's rain-slicked streets, the city's neon lights blurring through his windshield. His mind churned with memories of his family, the Wrens, owners of Wren Pharmaceuticals, who'd never seen him as anything but a tool. His older brother, Theo, wasn't their biological son but an adopted prodigy, groomed to inherit their empire. Theo's charm and ambition made him their pride, while Elias, born to be Theo's blood donor for a rare clotting disorder, was their burden. At home, in the Wren's cold, modern mansion, the disdain was palpable. His father, Victor, sat at the dining table, reviewing Theo's latest business proposal. "Elias, you're late," Victor snapped, not looking up. "Theo's meeting investors tomorrow, and you're wasting time with your scribbles." "They're not scribbles," Elias said, his voice tight with frustration. "I sold a piece last week." Lena, his mother, scoffed, her eyes fixed on a photo of Theo on her phone. "Don't delude yourself, Elias. Theo's closing deals that keep this family afloat. Your drawings are a hobby, nothing more." Her words stung, each one a needle in his already scarred heart. Theo entered, his smile polished but hollow. "Ease up, Mom." Elias tries. The condescension in his tone made Elias's fists clench. Theo's illness required regular transfusions, and Elias's blood was the perfect match. Every month, Elias endured needles, weakness, and his family's indifference, all for Theo's survival. "You're looking pale," Theo added, his eyes glinting. "Don't skip your next donation, okay? I need you healthy." Elias's frustration boiled over. "I'm not your machine, Theo. I have a life." Victor slammed his hand on the table. "Enough. You exist to keep Theo alive. Don't forget your place." That night, Clara called, her voice clipped. "Mother told me about the check. What are you planning, Elias? Don't embarrass me." Her lack of faith cut deeper than Sylvia's snay. Elias hung up, the weight of their disdain crushing him. He couldn't stay, not in this house, not in this city, not in this life. 10 days later, Elias vanished. He'd cashed the 30 million and bought a secluded estate in Haven Ridge, a coastal town 6 hours from Eastmoor. The Cliffhaven Manor was a crumbling relic on a windswept bluff, its windows boarded, its grounds choked with ivy. Elias stocked it with art supplies, canned food, solar generators, and books, enough to live off-grid for years. The realtor, Marla, a chain-smoking woman with a skeptical squint, handed him the deed. "This place is a tomb, kid. No internet, no neighbors. You running from something." "Everything," Elias said, his voice firm. He didn't tell her about the Wrens, who'd called him useless when he missed a transfusion to finish a painting. Or Clara, who'd texted, "Don't be dramatic, Elias. Theo's not well, so we'll discuss the wedding later." Or the scars on his wrists, marks of a childhood spent as Theo's lifeline. In Haven Ridge, Elias found peace. He painted feverishly, canvases filled with jagged cliffs and raging seas, each stroke a scream of pent-up anguish. He rebuilt the manor's rooms, his hands blistered but his spirit unburdened. For the first time, he wasn't a shadow. He was Elias, whole and alive. In Eastmoor, the Wrens and Clara were unraveling. Sylvia had expected Elias to buy a flashy car or gallery to impress Clara. Instead, he disappeared, leaving a note on Clara's desk. "I'm not your pawn. Don't follow me." Clara's face twisted with anger as she read it. "He's humiliating me," she hissed, crumpling the paper. "How dare he take mother's money and run?" Victor was apoplectic, his voice booming through the Wren mansion. "That ungrateful wretch. Theo's collapsing, and Elias thinks he can just vanish." Lena clutched a vial of Theo's medication, her eyes red but venomous. "He's always been a selfish leech, taking our money and giving nothing back." Theo, recovering in a hospital bed, played the victim perfectly. "I don't blame Elias," he said weakly, his smile calculated. "He's just lost. But I need him, Mom. Find him." Clara nodded, her jaw tight. "He'll crawl back when he runs out of cash." Only Nora, Theo's former nurse and Elias's one ally, saw through the facade. At 30, she'd been the Wren's employee since Elias was a child, bandaging his wounds and praising his art when no one else would. She'd loved him like a brother, but when he confessed his feelings at 18, she'd pushed him away, fearing the Wren's wrath. Now, standing in the hospital, she held a sketch Elias had drawn, a boy alone in a storm. "You broke him," she whispered. "All of you." 3 months into his exile, Elias was painting in the manor's attic when a car crunched up the gravel drive. Nora stepped out, her face gaunt. "Elias, I found you through Sylvia's bank trace. Theo's critical. They need your blood." Elias's brush froze, frustration flaring. "I'm not their slave anymore, Nora. Why should I care?" Nora's eyes glistened. "Because you're better than them. I know they've crushed you. Victor's cruelty, Lena's neglect, Clara's betrayal. I failed you, too, staying silent. But Theo's dying, and I can't lose you to this anger." Elias's heart ached, Nora's words stirring old wounds. "Stay," he said. "See my life here. Then tell me why I should go back." Nora stayed, sleeping in a spare room, watching Elias work. She told him truths that gutted him. Theo's illness was worsened by Wren Pharmaceuticals' experimental drugs, pushed on him as a child to enhance his intellect. Elias was born as a backup, his blood a failsafe. "I thought you chose Theo," Elias said, his voice cracking. "You let me think I was nothing." "I was scared," Nora admitted, tears falling. "I loved you, Elias, but I couldn't fight them. I'm here now, begging you to live for yourself, not them." Before he could respond, headlights pierced the dusk. Clara, Sylvia, Victor, and Lena stormed the manor, their voices a cacophony of rage. "You pathetic thief!" Victor roared, shoving Elias against the wall. "You take 30 million and hide like a coward while Theo's dying." Lena's voice was shrill, dripping with disdain. "You've always been a burden, Elias. Your ART's worthless. Your life's worthless. Get in the car, now." Clara's eyes were cold, her words slicing. "You're embarrassing me, Elias. Running off with my mother's money. You're nothing without us." Sylvia smiled, her tone mocking. "I knew you'd squander it on some delusional fantasy. Come back, or I'll ruin you." Elias's frustration erupted, his voice raw. "You've all treated me like garbage my whole life. I'm not your blood bank, your pawn, or your trophy. Get out." Nora stepped forward, her voice trembling but fierce. "Leave him alone. You've done enough damage." That night, Theo arrived, his face pale but his eyes sharp with malice. "Elias, I didn't choose this," he said, his voice quivering for effect. "I hate being their puppet. One last transfusion, please." Elias saw the lie in Theo's eyes, the same manipulation that had kept him chained for years. "No," he said, his voice steel. "I'm done saving you." Victor lunged, grabbing Elias's throat. "You selfish brat. Theo's our legacy, and you're nothing." Lena screamed, "How dare you let your brother die?" Clara stood back, her silence a betrayal, her eyes dismissing Elias as a lost cause. Theo's mask slipped, his voice venomous. "You think you can escape me? I've made sure you'll always be the spare." He pulled a knife, its blade glinting. "If I can't have their love, neither will you." Nora screamed, throwing herself at Theo, knocking the knife away. Elias tackled him, pinning him as Clara gasped, finally seeing Theo's truth. Victor and Lena stood frozen, their perfect sun unraveling. "Call the police," Elias shouted, and Nora dialed, her hand shaking. Theo's confession spilled out as sirens wailed. He'd sabotaged Elias's art shows, spread lies to isolate him, even staged a gallery fire to destroy his work. "I hated you," Theo spat. "You were supposed to be nothing, but you kept trying." The Wrens were shattered, their faces pale with shock. Clara's voice broke. "Elias, I didn't know." But her words were hollow. Too late. Theo was arrested, his schemes exposed. The Wrens faced public disgrace as Wren Pharmaceuticals' drug scandal leaked, their stock plummeting. Victor and Lena sent letters, their apologies dripping with regret. "We were blind, Elias," Lena wrote. "You're our son, too." Elias tore them up, his heart hardened. Clara visited Haven Ridge, her face gaunt. "I was wrong, Elias. I see you now. Can we try again?" Elias's voice was cold. "You saw me as a tool. Clara, you chose Theo every time. I'm done." He stayed in Haven Ridge, opening a gallery with Nora's help. His paintings, raw, visceral depictions of pain and rebirth, drew crowds, his story spreading on X, from neglect to triumph. # from anguish. Your channel's video, A Son Unseen, went viral, with comments like, "Elias's pain hit so hard. What a comeback." Elias found a family in Haven Ridge, not of blood, but of heart. Nora became his confidant, managing the gallery and sharing quiet nights over tea. The Hoppers, a local couple, embraced him, their home filled with warmth he'd never known. Their daughter, Lila, a pianist, composed music for his exhibits, her presence a spark of hope. One evening, at a gallery opening, Lila played a piece inspired by Elias's art, a melody of storms and sunrise. "You're not unseen anymore," she said, her eyes bright. Elias smiled, feeling whole. The Wrens and Clara faded into silence, their pleas ignored. Elias's gallery thrived, his art a beacon for the broken. As he hung a new painting, a boy stepping from shadows into light, he knew he'd found his place, free from the disdain that once defined him.